Benvenuto, welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make a Guinness chocolate cake. I haven't made this recipe. I've always wanted to try it, but with St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, I thought, okay, let's give it a try. Although, from everything I've read about it, it's not just for St. Patrick's Day. So anyway, this is what we're going to need. We need some Guinness Stout, okay, 8 ounces of that. I guess the good thing is you get to drink the rest of it. We need butter. Of course, we are going to need some dark chocolate cocoa powder. Make sure you have dark chocolate, not milk chocolate cocoa powder. Of course, you're going to need some salt and you need baking powder for this recipe, not baking soda, baking powder. We need some good vanilla. We're going to need some sour cream and, of course, some eggs. And we need all-purpose flour. We need light brown and white sugar. And then for our cream cheese frosting, we're going to need some room temperature cream cheese, some butter, some confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar, and we're going to put a little bit of vanilla in that as well. So, I think that's all the ingredients. I know it seems like a lot. I wanted to show them all to you because I wanted to make sure you got a couple key ingredients that we're going to need, but it's going to go together really quickly. So, first thing we need to do is we need to get our Guinness and chocolate and butter going on the stove. So, let's bake. All right, as everybody can see, we just got our butter to the melting point. I've put the stove on low. We're going to add our cup of Guinness. This doesn't have to come to a boil or anything like that. You really, at this point, you just want to get your butter melted so that we can incorporate our dark cocoa powder in it, because this is going to have to cool a little bit, because we're going to add eggs to it. So, of course, we want it to cool down a little bit. So, there we go. As a matter of fact, we can turn the oven off at that point, and we can even take it off the heat. I don't know why I insist on putting a pad down on top of my granite, but I don't know. It took me a long time to have granite countertops. I don't want anything to happen to them. All right, so we're just going to slowly stir in our delicious dark cocoa. And I do it in a couple little batches. You want to get it smooth, no big lumps in it. Oh, that smells good, huh? Can you smell the chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay. And you just want to get it incorporated in there as much as you can before you start on the next. All right, we'll add the rest of it in. And then we want to stir this until everything's nicely incorporated and it's smooth. That's probably going to take a good 2-3 minutes. Won't make you all watch me do that. So when we come back, we'll go on to the next step. All right, about 2-3 minutes of constant whisking has turned this into a smooth, shiny chocolate deliciousness. Okay, so at this point, we're going to keep this off the heat. Even though I'm on the stove here, it wasn't under any heat. It was just a little easier to stir it over this side. All right, so we're going to put that off the heat, and we're going to let that cool down. Doesn't have to become, cold or room temperature. We just want it to cool down, probably 30-40 degrees. Well, don't quote me on that because I'm not sure what the original temperature was. So we want it to cool down enough so that when we put our eggs in it, the eggs don't scramble. All right, and when that's ready to cool enough, we'll go on to the next step. See you in a little bit. I've got my oven preheating to 350, and we're going to get our cake pan ready. A couple recipes I've started, either this recipe as well, you want a 9-inch tall-sided cake pan, straight-sided if possible. You can see that's, I don't know, you probably can't tell, but this is a straight side opposed to some cake pans. It flares out a little bit, but for this particular cake, you want a straight-sided cake pan if you've got it, or a spring foam pan. Spring foam pans are always a straight-sided pan. Could you use a flared side? Yes. It might not give you that same exact look, but anyway, we're going to prepare this in a minute. I'm going to try, at least we're going to attempt to get them on. I've got these months and months ago. This is like a little material band that you get wet, saturated, and you put it around the side of your pan like this. So that's where the tricky part's going to come in. I'm going to let Wade figure out how to get it on there. So this is, this is a dry one, of course, but the one that's wet. So the science behind it is that it keeps the outer edge of the pan a little bit cooler and allows that to come up to temperature with the rest of it so that you don't get a hard or overcooked crust. I don't know, we'll see how it works. If we can get it on the pan, and we'll let you know how it works at the end of the video or when we take it out. All right, so then, of course, I'm just gonna, I've got a dab of butter in here. I'm going to get my pan very well buttered, greased, whatever you want to call it. If you use a spring foam pan, of course, you want to butter it as well. You can use some parchment paper on it if you want. I have a spring foam pan, several of them as a matter of fact. I've never liked the results of a cake when I use it. Cheesecake, yes, but a batter cake, I don't know. It never seems to come out the way I want it. So, all right, so we've got that really well buttered, and then we've got a little bit of flour. So, now, well, we want to butter it really well. We want to just lightly flour. So can you just, we've done this many times, and I will show you each time. And you just make sure your flour coats the bottom well and up the sides of your pan. And of course you can take it over your sink and give it a good pat. And comes out lightly floured. All right, so we've got our pan done, we've got our oven going. Now we just need to put all the rest of the ingredients together, so let's go do it. All right, I've got my dry ingredients. I've got my flour, my light brown and white sugar in this bowl, and this is the baking powder and salt. I'm going to put that in there, and the recipe says to whisk it together. I'm going to use the old KitchenAid, so get that whisking. I've never seen a recipe where they consider light brown sugar part of, I guess it is the dry ingredient, but you can see there is some moisture in it, so. Let me check my recipe because it says in a medium bowl. Oh no, we did that. Okay, in a medium bowl, combine flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. Whisk well to ensure no lumps. Well, we've got lots of lumps in there right now. Well, we're going to carry on because I'm just not too sure about the directions in this recipe. But as I said, I've never made it before. If anybody watches this and you've made it and you can tell me what mistake I've made, please let me know. But we're going to carry on and see how it comes out. I have done everything I can do to get this not to be lumpy at all. Like I said when we started, it doesn't make sense that you'd be putting light brown sugar in with flour and expecting it to be lump-free. But again, we're just going to go on. We'll see how it comes out. All right, so in this bowl, we've got our cream cheese, our vanilla, and our egg. Let's, it says to whisk that together. And this is pretty cool, so I'm just going to start to drizzle this in and get this all mixed together. Make sure I'm going to get that all out, so I'm going to use a rubber spatula. Over there. Now the recipe says something about adding the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. I'm going to do this in the mixer because that being as lumpy as it is, hopefully the mixer will take those. So I'm going to just kind of add this a little bit and we'll see how we're doing. See if we can get those lumps out. I know it looks like it's getting lumpier to me. But let's keep adding it in gradually. All right, that seems to be, I've worked a little bit. It's getting a bit creamier. I'm going to let that go through a bit. There we go, that seems to be getting the lumps out. All right, I'm going to shut that off. Put all the rest of it in there. All right. Now let it go. All right, that looks like it took care of our lumpy problem. Turn it up a bit. See if they're out. I'm not quite sure what I did wrong or what order I didn't follow, but it's been fun. You know, that looks okay. I think it's as, it looks pretty smooth. I think it's as smooth as I'm gonna get it. Oh, it looks like a beautiful batter. So, all right, we're gonna take our batter off. I always unplug my plug. This fear I've told you many times of all of a sudden this turning on. I'll take that off. It's delicious. All right. Let's get it in our pan. Somehow we got this on there, but I don't know how. I don't see it's. Yeah. I'm going to hold the camera. It's just kind of like dried a little bit and almost it came off. He's much better at this stuff that takes patience. I know. What do you think? Scrap it? Yeah. Well, not going to bump it too much. Should be good. Okay. I got it. All right, so let's get our batter in our pan, get this in the oven. What a rich, chocolatey batter. We may end up with 1 or 2 lumps, but we'll deal with it. All right. That is a thick batter. Okay, so our oven is reached temperature. Let's give it one more. And let's get it in there. Okay, so it is going to need 50 to 55 minutes on 350. So of course, like with any cake, we're going to put it on the middle shelf, middle rack. All right, and we're going to let that go. I'm going to set the timer for 55 minutes. Actually, for 50 minutes. We'll come back and we'll test it at 50 minutes. Okay, Google, set a timer for 50 minutes. Nothing's going right today. Okay, Google. Set a timer for 55. Okay, Google, cancel.
All right, 55 minutes.
No.
And we're starting now.
We're going to leave it at 55 minutes. I'll remember at 50 minutes to come and check it. Anyway, if the cake doesn't burn or the house doesn't burn down, we'll see you guys in a little while. Alrighty, we're going to make our cream cheese frosting. So when our cake is done and cool, we'll be ready to frost. So in here we've got our 8 ounces of cream cheese, half a stick of butter at room temperature, and our vanilla. This is kind of really just a basic cream cheese frosting. So whenever you need a cream cheese frosting, this is a great recipe. Alright, so again, our butter, cream cheese, vanilla, and we want to get that really nicely combined. That's probably going to take a good 3-4 minutes. Like I said, it is at room temperature, but we want to get that really well combined and whipped up. Well, we don't want to turn it into butter, but you'll see. Increase the speed a little, get some of that butter out of the whisk. And I'm going to get those chunks of batter out of there. And scrape the sides a bit. Get off me. I'm just going to push the butter back down one more time, give it a couple more, 20-30 seconds more, then it should be good. Yeah, that's good. You can see you've got, you just got a nice pale yellow color. Your sour cream and butter are nicely mixed together. So this recipe calls for about 3 cups of confectioner's or powdered sugar. Of course, you want to add that slowly so you don't get, it doesn't snow in your kitchen. And it's really kind of, sometimes it takes 2.5 cups, sometimes it takes a little over 3. But you want to get it to the consistency you like it. You want it spreadable, but not too liquid that it won't stay on the top of the cake. Let's put more in there, scrape the sides. Cup. that incorporate for a few seconds. All right, I'm gonna add the rest in. And then let this go through before I scrape down the sides. I was just complaining today that one of the things I hate the worst about baking is flour or powdered sugar getting all over the place, and now we're covered in it. I'm gonna wash my hands. Thank you, hon. Okay, I'm gonna scrape down the sides one last time. And the bottom. And let's give it a final good spin. Yeah, and then that's just about where I want it. I like it just as it spins around, it starts to separate a little bit or pull apart, but then fall back together. That's how I like mine. I guess it really depends upon how everybody likes this, because I want to taste it, make sure there's delicious. There you have it. Cream cheese frosting. That'll be delicious on our Guinness chocolate cake. See you when we're ready to eat it. I gave it a check at 50 minutes. It wasn't done or quite done, almost done. So we're now right at about 55, 56 minutes. So take it out again. I'm going to let that little thing fall aside. I mean, it looks done from the top. I mean, it certainly looks like it's done. Let's say. All right, yeah, I'm going to say that's came out pretty clean. So we're going to let this cool for 10 minutes or so. We'll put it out on the rack, let it thoroughly cool, and then we'll frost it, and then we get to eat it. See ya. It looks good.
It does. Wow, that came out really good.
Not bad at all. It's really, really, really chocolatey. It's actually still a little bit more on the side.
It came out better than we thought it did.
Oh my god. It's got that little, you really can taste this, the Guinness. Little tiny aftertaste to it of the Guinness, but it's really moist and very chocolatey. So, considering all the mess ups we had with this cake, this episode will have at least some comedic value, I hope. We had fun making it, but I think we had to do the opening like in 8 or 9 takes before I could form a sentence properly. But it was very good. I'm glad we made it. Like I said, I've seen this, hearing about and seen different recipes. I've always wanted to make it, so St. Patrick's Day was a good reason to make it.
What do you think about the ring?
All right. I don't know. I would say, oops, sorry. Oh, sorry about that. I would say the jury is still out. I think it had some benefit. Maybe it was the tall pan. I'll give it one more try. See what it is. I mean, they were only $12, so. I want to give a shout out to Margaret H. Hi, Margaret. There are a couple of Margarets on the Irish side of my family, so you might have a little bit of Irish in you. Whether or not you do or not, luck of the Irish to you, and happy St. Patrick's Day. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and hopefully you'll make this cake, see how it comes out for yourself, and hit like and subscribe. We don't want those two buttons to be lonely. And that's all I've got to say.
Yep. Check out this recipe on cherryhillhomecooking.com. Yep.
Yay, thank you. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
It is actually very good. It's still a little warm, so it's falling apart a bit.
Actually, it's delicious.
I mean, a chocolate, somebody that really likes chocolate.
Just a little bit of Guinness.
A little bit in the background.